Hi you guys, I'm Carolina and I've got a street parking maintenance video for you today. This video is going to focus on your hips. So it's a great sequence to do before or after your workout, on a rest day, recovery day. If you're doing it before your workout, try to keep yourself at about 70, maybe 80% at the most of your flexibility or your mobility. You don't want to overstretch before you go in to do your heavy lifting. After your workout, feel free to pause the video at any point and stay in a pose even longer. I'll let you know about how long you could stay in each one of these stretches or poses, but feel free to pause it if you really like it, if it feels good, and stay in it as long as you want. Okay, today you might need a couple of extra little tools for some modifications. I have a band here, a resistance band. You can use one of these if you have yoga strap or a dog leash or something like that. It's going to be just as effective. And then something soft to cushion your knees or your head if you know that you have some sensitive knees or elbows. I've got an ab mat. You could use an ab mat, a pillow, even something as big as a wall ball might work sometimes, but anything that you think is going to help you just get really comfortable. All right, we're going to start lying down on the back. So just take a second to relax your whole body. You're going to extend your legs, extend your arms, and start to focus on the way that you're breathing right now. Deep breath in, all the way into your stomach, and a deep breath out. Notice if you're coming into this video with a lot of tension already, still holding on to it in your shoulders or in your neck or in your jaw, try to let some of that go before we begin. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to bring your feet closer together and draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder and interlace your hands on the front of your right shin. If that's not accessible, like if you have to strain your neck and your shoulders up off of the ground to reach your shin, then you could try bringing your hands to the hamstring. It might be a little bit closer, or you could try using your strap or your band to do that squeezing or reaching for you. So keep this right leg drawn in, and the opposite leg, your left leg, flex the foot up towards the ceiling and then press the back of your thigh down towards the ground. You want to keep that left leg, the straight leg, really active while you squeeze this right thigh in close. You're going to start to add some breath to it. So you're going to take a deep inhale, expand your stomach up against your thigh, and as you exhale, squeeze your thigh down into your stomach. And so you're going to keep squeezing and using those exhales. Take another 3 or 4 deep exhales here and imagine compressing the hip flexors here, even into your belly, your abdominals, those organs beneath your belly. As you squeeze, as you compress, you're giving your body a nice little massage. And then when we release, we're going to get this rush of fresh oxygen, fresh blood through those areas. One more deep breath in. Squeeze, deep breath out. So I'm going to keep this leg drawn in and then bend the left knee, put the left foot down on the ground. From here, you're going to start to draw your right heel towards the ceiling, but keep this thigh, this knee bent, and the thigh in close to your body. You're going to draw it a little bit closer to the outside of your ribs. If you can, reach for the outer edge of your right foot, great. But again, if that's a struggle and your shoulders are starting to lift or you can't get your foot towards the direction of the ceiling, then try grabbing for your ankle or your calf, or again, feel free to use your strap. So this is a modified half happy baby. You're just gonna gently draw the right shin so that it is vertical, and then keep hugging the right thigh down. If this feels like it's pretty manageable for you, then you could let your left knee drop out to the left side or straighten your left leg. 3 to 5 breaths. As you exhale, continue to draw your right foot a little closer towards the wall behind you. And then eventually, when you're ready, no rush, you're gonna bend your left knee and take your right ankle to the top of your left thigh. Keep the right foot flexed because this right knee is in kind of a vulnerable position. So by flexing your right foot, you're gonna create some stability around the knee joint and keep it nice and protected. This might be plenty for you right here. If you wanna add on, you could start to draw your left thigh in. Your hands could go behind your left hamstring. They could go onto your left shin. Or once again, you could use the strap and thread it between your legs onto your left leg and draw your left thigh in close. Your right elbow is really good to use for a little bit of leverage. Draw your right thigh away from your body. You should start to feel this in the outer edge of your right hip. You could use your right hand to gently press your right thigh away as you use your left hand to pull the left thigh in. And the whole time, you're still maintaining a nice strong flexion in your right foot. And notice as you start to get deeper into these poses, if you're starting to create that tension in the shoulders or in the jaw, slide your chin down, relax through the back of your neck. And sometimes it'll help to stick out your tongue to force your jaw to release. Or just take a big sigh. You can keep your legs as they are, or you can try just gently rolling towards one side or rolling towards the other. And you'll notice that one side might feel a little bit more effective than the other. And you could stay there, hang out for a few breaths. When you're ready, start to make your way back to center. Release the left foot to the ground, release that right foot down. And then just let your legs relax. You can give them a little bit of a windshield wiper, reset. We're gonna start this whole sequence on the second side. So right leg is gonna go straight, left thigh draws in, hands on the shin, the hamstring, or you can use your band or your strap. Use your exhales as you squeeze the left thigh against your belly, against your ribs. If you feel any pinching, just change the position. So you could bring it a little closer to center. You could bring it a little closer to the outside. It shouldn't be sharp or painful, but we definitely want to build a gentle compression. The right leg is flexed, the toes are towards the ceiling, and you're trying to connect the back of your thigh to the ground. Take another couple long breaths. When you're ready, slide your right foot onto the ground. Take the left ankle into your left hand or the outer edge of your left foot. And then draw your left thigh down by the outer edge of your ribs and your left shin up towards vertical. And again, you might have one side that feels a lot different than the other. One side is going to be tighter, it might have a different range of motion, and that's totally normal, it's okay. So if on this side you need to go for the calf, cool, go for it. Give yourself those modifications so that you can still focus on your breathing. If you find yourself holding your breath, it's probably too deep or too much of a stretch. You can let the right knee drop out to the side or straighten the right leg. And on the exhales, you're just going to continue to draw this left shin closer towards the wall that's behind your head. When you're ready, release the ankle and place your left ankle on the thigh of the right side, the right leg. This might be plenty, or start to draw your right thigh in. Hands can go behind the hamstrings, on the shin, or you can use the band. And then here, the left foot stays flexed a lot to protect the left knee. The right foot can relax. You're using your biceps to pull your right thigh in, but your shoulders and your neck can stay relaxed. And just like before, you could try a gentle little rock towards the left or towards the right. And if you notice that the stretch feels a little bit better in one of those positions, hang out there for a few breaths. You can use one hand to gently press the left thigh away from the body while the right thigh continues to draw in. When you're ready, slowly release that down. Both feet on the ground, knees bent. And if it would feel good, a little windshield wiper of your knees side to side. All right, from here we're gonna make our way all the way over and around into a tabletop position or on your hands and knees. And let's just start with a little bit of movement through the spine. So you're going to stack your wrists underneath your shoulders, pull your shoulders away from your ears, stack your knees underneath your hips and untuck your toes. Drop your belly, lift your chin, lift your tailbone, and take a slow breath in. And as you exhale, drop your head, slide your pelvis under, your tailbone down, and press the ground away through your palms. Take a few more of those cat-cows. Deep breath in. Stretch out through the belly, the abdominals, through the front of the throat or the neck. And a deep breath out. Stretch between the shoulders, through the back of your neck, and get some movement in the pelvis. Slide the tailbone down. One more time. Then you're gonna come back to a more neutral spine. We're gonna take a little bit of extra movement. You can call it like a freestyle movement through your spine. So you could start with some shifting of your hips side to side. Maybe you let your head and your shoulders start to move side to side, almost like you're trying to look back behind you. Barrel rolls with your belly or your chest in one direction. Some figure eights with your hips in one direction and the other. Just take a moment here and kind of get into your body. So you're gonna start to feel all of the different places where you might be holding tension today. And every day might be a little bit different. So once you've created a little bit of that movement, you're going to tuck the toes and lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. You do not have to bring your heels to the ground. Try to pay attention to the sensation you feel through your spine. So if you feel like you're really rounding through your back, put a deeper bend in your knees. Try to lengthen your tailbone to the ceiling and press your chest towards your thighs. If you start to feel like your hamstrings or the back of the legs are opening up, then you can work your heels down in the direction of the ground, but they don't really ever need to touch the ground. Pedal your feet out just a bit. Hopefully it feels pretty good in the back of the legs, the calves. And then when you're ready, you're going to reach your right leg up towards the sky and step your right foot through, place it between your hands. You're gonna walk your hands up onto your right thigh and hang out here in this lunge. So if you feel that your left knee has a lot of pressure on it, now would be a good time to slide something soft, a little cushion, a towel underneath the top of your left knee so that you can focus on drawing your hips forward and down, and we're gonna do it with a little bit of breath. So move your shoulders back over your hips Relax the neck, relax the jaw. We're gonna take an inhale. Start to press yourself up and away from the ground. And as you exhale, soften into a little bit of a deeper lunge. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. If balance is kind of challenging for you right here, feel free to put your hand up on a chair or a table. Again, even like a wall ball might be helpful. You're gonna drop your hands down to the ground on either side of your front foot. Let's bring the front foot a little closer to the center. Keep the front foot down on the ground and start to shift your hips back behind you. You may, if you're pretty tight, you may need to bring your hands onto a chair or a bench, something to give you a little bit of extra support or assistance. But you might be able to walk your hands all the way back, sit your hips back towards your heel. You can keep your hips up. That might feel really good. Or you could drop your hips all the way down. You could untuck that back foot and sit down on your heel. There's not one version that's gonna be better or more advanced than the other. It's really just whatever's more effective for you today. So in this position, let's try flexing the front foot and turning the toes straight up towards the ceiling. Notice where you feel that stretch. And start to fold a little bit deeper towards your right thigh. You can try rotating your toes to the left or to the right. See if that changes the stretch for you. And then try pulling your right hip back, almost like you're moving your left rib cage towards your right thigh. You don't have to create a deep twist, but try to line yourself up over your right leg. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, fold just a little bit deeper. If you choose to sit back onto your heel, or if you have a prop that you could sit up onto, this is a pose that you could stay in for a little bit longer, between 3 and 5 minutes. But if it feels really intense, any burning, any sharp sensations, it's too much, you've gone too far, back off. When you're ready, you're gonna start to walk your hands forward, plant the palms, tuck the back toes, and step the right foot back to your downward facing dog. Pedal your feet out. You can move your chin right and left. And we're gonna do that same sequence on the second side. So left leg up, step the left foot through, lower the right knee down onto your cushion or your towel if you need to, and then walk your hands up onto your left thigh, or a chair, or whatever support you might need. So get yourself balanced here, steady, and then draw your shoulders back over your hips so you're a little bit more upright. Take a nice big full breath in, gently lift out of the lunge. And as you exhale, you're gonna soften into a little bit of a deeper lunge. 2 more. All right. You can stay there longer if you want. When you're ready, you're gonna bring your hands down to the ground to frame that left foot and start to shift your hips back, straighten your left leg, flex your toes up towards your nose, and bow your forehead down towards your shin. And find the version of this that works for you. Hips back, hips up. And play with the direction that your left toes are pointing. And use the exhales to allow you to lengthen through the back of your left leg. And you might feel that as the back of that left leg lengthens, it starts to work its way up through the whole backside of your body. Allow the glutes to relax, the lower back, maybe up through the upper back, the neck. Drop your head down if that feels good. Take as much time as you need here. And when you're ready, start to make your way back out. Plant the palms, slide or step your left foot back. Hips lift back into down dog. A little pedal of the feet again if you want. All right, this time you're gonna take the right leg up towards the ceiling and step the right foot outside of the right hand. Drop the left knee down to the ground or the cushion. And the hands are on the inside of your right foot. So this might already be a really intense stretch. If you feel like it's too much, bring your hands up onto a wall ball, a bench, a stack of pillows or something that's gonna elevate you a little bit if you feel like that would help. Otherwise, you could stay right here on your palms or lower yourself down to your elbows. But again, if you find yourself dropping into a deeper version of the stretch and then not really able to breathe well or starting to clench your jaw or something, it's probably a sign that it's too much. So back off a bit, take some deep breaths, and then you can work towards moving in that direction when you're ready. Okay. Start to bring the right foot towards the center so that your hands come to frame the right foot again. This time, you're gonna tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, take an inhale, start to reach your chest over your right foot. And as you exhale, start to shift your hips back, work to straighten the right leg. Any amount is good. You can shorten your stance if you need to. But you might end up feeling like your hips start to turn towards the left. Focus on keeping your right hip pulled back and your chest starting to draw over your right thigh. Try to reach your nose towards your knee. It doesn't ever need to actually touch it. Mine never will, that's okay. And if this feels like it's just too much, you can go back to the version with the knee on the ground and the right leg straight. Totally okay. Once you've taken a couple minutes here, you can start to drop the left knee down. And then we're gonna heel toe or slide the right foot over towards the left side. And you're gonna take your shin across the front of your body. We're setting up for a pigeon pose, so you may want to remove that cushion from underneath the knee. If it still feels good, if that works for you, you can keep it there. We're looking to open up the outer edge of the right hip. So kind of like that sensation that you felt on your back in the thread the needle. We're looking for something similar, maybe a little bit deeper. For some of you, you'll be able to keep this left leg straight and it will feel really good. For some of you, you might end up not feeling anything at all or feeling it more in your knee. To protect this right knee, keep your right foot flexed. And then you can play around with adjusting where your body goes. So it actually might feel a little bit more effective to shift your hips all the way off to the right side and bend the back knee. You can try dropping your chest over towards the left or towards the right. Take a little bit of time to explore and find something that's gonna feel good for you. You're welcome to stay up on your palms or drop down to your elbows. Sometimes it actually feels really good to prop your forehead up on something, even stack up your fists and then drop your forehead down so that the neck actually gets a chance to relax. And pay attention to whether or not you're just seeking out a really intense sensation or intense pose. It doesn't have to be or need to be intense for it to be effective. Okay. Start to peel your chest back up. If you want, this pose, pigeon pose, is another good pose to stay in for a little bit longer. So you could pause the video and stay in it for up to 5 minutes or so if you wanted. However, when you're ready, you're gonna tuck the back toes, lift your hips, and step back to that downward facing dog. Take as much time here in down dog, a little movement if you want it. When you're ready, step the left foot outside of the left hand, lower the right knee down, and come into that low lizard lunge. It might feel nice to drop the left knee or the left thigh towards the side, but notice if you find yourself really adding that deep twist, totally fine, but try to also take a little bit of time with your chest more square to the ground. Maybe you drop the head down. Maybe you lower down to your elbows. One or both of them is fine. Okay. Slide the left foot in between the hands. You can come up onto your fingertips, get your shoulders nice and active, tuck the back toes, lift your back knee, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to straighten the left leg. Any amount is good. If you need to or want to, you can shorten your stance. If you keep your heel lifted, it'll allow you a little bit more freedom in your hips to square the left hip back and draw the right hip forward. There's a version of this pose where the right heel stays grounded. If you like that version, cool, go for it. It's worth trying them both out. And focus on trying to make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. And press down through the mound of your left big toe and try to activate your left thigh, your left quadricep, almost like you're trying to lift your kneecap up your leg. And you'll find that it usually deepens the stretch in the back of your left leg. All right, when you're ready, lower your left knee to the ground. Continue to work the left foot over towards the right side. We're gonna come into pigeon or your version of pigeon on the second side. So if you notice that you're in this version with the back leg straight and your left hip is really high up off of the ground, this would be a good opportunity to drop the left hip down, or you could even slide something underneath your hip to give you a little bit of extra support. It's almost like you're bringing the ground up to your hip. So find the version. You can walk your hands one way or to the other. If you want to stay up on your palms or lower down, maybe you want to drop your head down. Whatever is going to allow you to release the area on the outer edge of your left hip. And if you ever feel any numbness or tingling when you're in these poses, it's too much. Take a second to back off of the pose or make an adjustment. We don't want any limbs falling asleep. All right. Again, you're welcome to pause and stay in that for up to about 5 minutes if it feels good. When you're ready, tuck the back toes, lift your hips, slide or step that left foot back, come back into down dog. Long stretch of your tailbone towards the sky. And then you're going to lower your knees down to the ground. So we're actually gonna hang out on the ground for a little bit longer. If you find that that's too much pressure in the knees, you could put an ab mat, a cushion, a towel underneath your knees. If you feel like it's really uncomfortable on the top of your feet, sometimes we've got a little bit of sensitivity there, you could do the same thing with a towel or something soft underneath your feet. You're gonna take your knees just a little bit wider, feet a little bit closer, sit your hips back towards your heels, and start to walk your chest down towards the ground. That might not feel very comfortable, so you are totally welcome to stay more elevated, maybe propping yourself up onto a stack of pillows or something a little bit higher, a height that's gonna work for you. But you're also totally welcome to drop yourself all the way down towards the ground. Rest your head down while you drop your hips back. Try to focus on allowing the inner thighs to release, as well as the lower back to open up. And so you're going to take deep breaths into the back side of your body. And as you exhale, allow your chest or your head to get a little bit closer to the ground. If you have a tendency to keep a lot of tension up in your shoulders, sometimes it helps to bring one arm down by your side or even both. If this feels really good, stay a little bit longer. And when you're ready, start to curl yourself back up and shift your pillow or your towel out of the way. And make your way to lie on your back again. And this time, keep both knees bent. Take the feet just a little bit wider. And allow both knees to drop over towards the left side. That might feel like it's pretty good there already. You could stay, or take your left ankle to rest on your right thigh. If this creates like pinching in your lower back or discomfort in either one of your knees, don't do it. You can skip taking your foot onto your thigh and just keep it down on the ground. If you want to add the right arm, extend the right arm out to the side, turn your chin to the right, and hopefully you feel a nice long release through the front of your right hip. And allow it to get a little bit deeper with every breath out. Make your way back to center. And switch to the other side. So feet start on the ground and a little bit wider than hip width. Both knees drop over towards the right. Stay or take the right ankle on the left thigh. If it feels pretty good and you're kind of close, you could prop something underneath this right thigh. That helps you relax just a little bit. And you can drop your left arm out to the left, turn your chin to the left. And slowly take that right foot off. Both feet on the ground, knees back up to center. And then try drawing both knees into your chest. Take your knees a little bit wider so that your thighs are closer to the outside edge of the belly or the ribs. And you can stay like this if it feels pretty good, or draw your feet up, grab for the outer edges of your feet, your ankles or your calves, and start to draw your shins back for a full happy baby. If your tailbone starts to curl up off of the ground, try to press the lower back, your sacrum, down into the ground. Or if your shoulders and head shrug up, draw your chin down, slide your shoulders down your back. Keep your spine nice and long across the ground. If you want to take a little bit of movement, rock side to side, or extend one leg or the other, feel free. Long exhales. Each breath out, you're going to pull your shins a little closer towards your shoulders. Slowly release your feet down onto the ground. Bring the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to drop out wide. You can rest your hands on your hips, on your belly, over your head, or down by your side, wherever feels comfortable. If this feels like it's way too intense for the inner thighs, prop up another towel or a cushion underneath the outer thighs or underneath your knee. And scan your body for any remaining tension. See if you can allow your breath to fill the lower belly, maybe even the front of your hips. This is another great pose to pause the video and stay in for a little bit longer. Or when you're ready, use your hands for a little bit of extra support. Draw your knees towards each other and slide the legs down long. Slide your shoulders underneath you down your back. Take your arms down by your side and start in that same pose or end in the same pose we started in with another few deep breaths. Try to relax the bottom of your feet, the palms of your hands, and the back of your neck. Take another deep breath in and a deep breath out. Roll yourself off to one side and start to press yourself back up. And have the best day ever.